What's up, guys? Today we're doing an operator tier list for solo queue. Purely for solo queue. We're doing the attackers first, and then we're doing the defenders. We're going to start with the attackers, and we're going to start with Striker. Striker, honestly, for solo queue, I got to put him at B tier. He can literally handle anything that is thrown at you. Honestly, I kind of want to move his flexibility up a little bit, because you can handle anything. You have gadgetry for literally whatever you run into. You're good to go. You have double sets of normal utility, and then you have a good gun with the shotgun for rotates. For solo queue, it's not going to be bad. A is really good for the solo queue. Best hard breacher for solo queue. Thermite, C tier. Thermite's solo queue is terrible. C tier, 100%. Have you ever been that lonely little Thermite who's having his like hard breach charge out, and then you just look at that bandit wall and you just can't do anything? You're not alone. That's solo queue vibes. Amaru, you might be able to make a play, but it may not matter. People may, it's so situational. Ashe, I would say Ashe is a S tier solo queue operator. Never a bad vibe. Never a bad vibe. You can just, breach whatever you need to. Blackbeard, I'm gonna have to say D tier. You're playing way too damn baity. Way too damn baity, and that shield is honestly ass. Blitz, solo queue, you're not going to have realistically really any backup, but I'm gonna put the Blitz at B tier because you can isolate your ones and still win some firefights. The Montaigne I'd place at A tier because I feel like Montaigne's a little bit better because you can put your shield up when you just want them to kind of get off of you. Flores, I would put Flores pretty high up, but for solo queue land, I place Flores a little bit lower because the time that you spend on your cameras is time spent your teammates are kind of walking in the building and dying. So if you've ever been those guys on your cameras and then you're like left alone in like a 1v3, yeah, you're not alone. Same with Twitch. Same with Brava. Collectively, all pretty good operators. But for solo queue, any operator that has a primary focus on cameras, you're not making moves, you're stalled out, your teammates are taking firefights, and you're just kind of on your camera. It's gonna be tough. Zero as well. Same situation, just different story, different side of the. He's an attacker, but he has a little bit more going on. But his cameras really involve kind of sitting on his cameras. He's a little bit more bunkered up. So Buck, S tier. You can deal with anything you walk into. Easy vibes. Capital, kind of a Swiss Army knife kit. I would place him at the A tier because you do have the hard breach. You have Gone 6, fires, and smokes. You can go for a lot. Damos solo queue is going to be pretty low tier because a lot of times with Damos, you go in from underneath trying to, get verticality. And that's going to be tough because someone's just going to roam around and flank you. Dokkaebi, really easy to play off a Doke, even if it's solo queue. Very easy. Finka, I want to say Finka S tier for solo queue, but I will put her A tier. Heals go a long way. You never know what your teammates are going to do. Being able to heal them, you have a good gun, and you have grenades to clear util. Never bad. Fuse for solo queue. I'm going to place Fuse, little old Fuse at the D tier. Not much of a reason to ever go Fuse in solo queue. Chances are someone's probably going to flank you, and you're going to die. I just don't really see why at all. You could, you could try to make an argument that he's a C tier. You can get some utility out of him, but at higher elo, just no. Same with Glass. This is for crazy plays, crazy teamwork plays. That's not going to happen. Same with Sens. It's just not going to happen. Gridlock, decent flank watch, good gun, grenades, don't get flanked, and honestly, always going to be a good go-to. Same with the Nomad. Flank watch is always good, but at some point you do need to push forward. If your team's really bad pushing forward, then you're just kind of stuck taking firefights. So Grim, I'm going to say Grim would be he's more of an execute heavy operator. So in solo land, it is kind of tough. Ram, I'm going to say A tier, not S, because the verticality gives the defenders a lot of time to flank you. Hibana is, I would say, an S tier solo queue operator. You open walls, hatches, and you're always safe. You have a good gun, and you have flashes to make entry plays when you need to. Ayana solo queue, I'm placing her at C tier. I just, you know, doesn't have the grenades, doesn't have the entry. She has a good gun. She has droning and intel, but overall, like, you're kind of functioning as support. That's going to be a little lackluster. IQ, basically just kind of a solo entry, but you do have grenades. You can find util, and if you're like at the tip of the spear, like in the heart of the fight, you are dealing with that util, like the Valcams and the Capkins and everything, pretty easily. So Jackal, really easy to coordinate off of Jackal scan on somebody. Callie, I don't. I love me some Callie. You can get some mileage out of this, but it's just extremely situational if you're going to actually get any mileage out of that. Line, pretty easy to get mileage of the line. Honestly, I'd probably place him a little bit higher. Maverick, I'm going to place Maverick at B tier because solo, you are getting the wall. Hell, if you don't even have a soft destruction person with you that can open up the wall, you have to shoot the wall open or throw, you know, like, it's just, it's hell. So I'll place Maverick at B tier. I feel like that's fairly fair. Ying, A tier to make decent executes, but not S tier because, you know, you can't really count on anybody to back you up. Zofia, she's a really good entry with a good gun, with a good util, but she's a 3 armor. Same with Sledge, 3 armor. It's just, you know. Knock, I'm going to have to say just don't. Just don't. Knock is fun to play, but she's not good. So Knock will sit safely at the D tier because there's only a couple spots where Knock actually makes sense, even in like a higher elo situation, and solo queue literally makes no sense. Osa, I find a lot of people that play Osa to just end up baiting the entire round, so I'm going to place Osa safely at the C tier because situationally she can be good, but if you're picking Osa every single round, you're just, you know, watching behind a window while your teammates are doing everything. Thatcher, I would place him a little bit higher on the list because you have a lot of power. You see someone pick a hard breach, you pick a Thatcher, you guys can open the wall. But it's not always inversely. Like if I pick a Thermite, they may not pick a Thatcher, but if I see a Thermite or an Ace or a Hibana, I bring Thatcher, we're probably getting the wall open. Easy enough. This is the solo queue operator tier list. These are my picks based on like how much success you'll probably have with them, how good their abilities are to coordinate off of with people that aren't really communicating too well, and how safe you are when opening walls or whatever. And then I'm forgetting the last bit, but anyways, attacker tier list for solo queue. Bingo, bango. Now, defenders. Striker is here. So next, we're going to start with the defenders. Sentry. I would place Sentry at the B tier. Decent gun. You have a nitro, and then you can bring whatever else you need. Do you need bulletproof? Do you need barbed wire? Do you need maybe more impacts to counter shields? You can bring. He's basically a blanket up that you can basically bring whatever you need to. Alibi, solo land. I can't place Alibi higher than C tier. Could be good for window hop-ins using our clones. Aruni, solo land. Pretty easy to play off the Aruni gates. I mean, everyone understands that. A zombie's still in S tier. Zombies are just, you know, just always so damn good. Same with Fender. I know Fender got a nerf, but Fender is still really, really good. Solus, solo queue with the Solus nerf. I'm going to say it's E tier. I think Solus got the kiss of death. Yes, I agree. I feel like the new recruit is better on attack. So do I. I mean, the Sentry is good, but like he's a nitro and let's say impacts. You can just pick, like, let's say I go like anyone with a nitro and then I have another ability. Or I go, let's say Goyo and then I have impacts. Or, you know, whatever. Like having nitro and impacts is kind of like the biggest boon that Sentry can have. But like, you know, you can run nitro bulletproof, you can run nitro bar, but like, I just don't really see that as being like a you're giving up an entire ability, like let's say a Fenrir or a zombie. I just don't think that's super strong. Then you have Bandito. I'm gonna place Bandit at C tier for solo queue because situationally he can be extremely good, but if you're picking him every round, you're going to be Hell in a Cell. Same with Castle. Can be good, but it depends on who you are and who you're with. And if you're solo, and there's a lot of times where people play this strat on Villa where they basically play in dining and kitchen and they castle off every door, and then they have like a ram and a sledge and a buck above them, and they just slowly pick them off like sardines in a can. A lot of times people don't really know what the hell they're doing in his castle, so that's why he's going C tier. Caveira can be good solo queue. This depends on the player. I'm not going to say she's worthless, but she's not great. Honestly, I probably could say she's worthless, like just don't bring her. But Cav is a lot of fun to play, so I'll put her at C tier just because she's fun. Actually, I can't put her next to Bandit, Solus, and Castle. I just can't do it. Clash, stop. Just stop. Solus doesn't have those impacts. It hurts. Doc, easy S tier. Doc is an amazing operator when you don't trust your team to win firefights and you need to win several. You run around with an MP5, you have bailiff set up the site, and if you ever win a firefight with, like, let's say 50-40 health left, you just heal yourself up. Bingo bango, you're good to go for another firefight. Easy to go. Mira, A tier. Really easy to counter the Miras nowadays, but still can be fairly effective in the right situations. Echo, I mean, who are you droning for in solo land? Good gun and impacts, but you know, that's just, the cams aren't going to do much for you in solo land. Ella, I would say that she's more useful than all those operators, but not much more useful if you can handle her gun. It's a big if. Frost, A tier. Shield, frost mats for hopping in windows or whatever, and you have a decent gun and a shotgun to set up sight. Always good to go. Goyos, pretty easy to understand on how to use the Goyos, but I've seen Goyo just like, you know, it just gets Twitch thrown out. But like if they don't bring a Twitch, the Goyos are pretty relevant to just, you know, slowing them down, getting a general understanding of where the enemy's at. It helps coordinate everybody in a certain direction, which helps out a lot for solo queue. Yeg, gotta be C tier for me. You're just, you know, it's not bad, but like the fact that Wamai exists, Wamai is just Yeg except better in every category. For me, MP5, 1X, impacts, bulletproof, everything, and you can use yours on the fly. Jaeger, you have to preset your ability, and when you're solo, you don't really know where your teammates are going to play. So, Cade, S, super easy to coordinate off of Cade. I mean, you have okay guns, you have a nitro, and you have the best wall denial in the game. Tubarao, I'm going to place it not at S, but at A tier. Paired with a hard breach is extremely strong, but by himself, he's just really going to stall them out for a little bit. Like, but that time does mean everything. You can stall someone out for like 30-40 seconds, which does have an impact later in the round. You have the best DMR in the game with a nitro, and again, if you pair with any other wall denial, let's say I see my teammate bring a Cade, I pair a Tubarao with the Cade, we're probably keeping something close. Capkin literally has to be S tier in solo queue. Obviously S tier. Traps that kill enemies without you even being there. Decent gun and a nitro. Capkin has the most lethal kit in Rainbow Six Siege. So, more opportunities to kill people. Legion, people said that I'm placing Legion too high, and Legion deserves to be a B or C tier. But I'm going to tell all you haters, Legion's still an S tier operator. Legion is the single-handedly best operator for holding multiple areas of the map by himself. Let's say your team's playing on a downstairs site. Legion's holding up top. You place Legion mines on door frames, on staircases. Legion can literally hold that entire floor by himself, waste all their time, and it is so hard to fight a Legion who just has Legion mines on every single door. And you have a shotgun to set up anyways. And you can rock a bulletproof. You know, if you do end up dying, then you have a bulletproof in a spot that you can, like, you know, give out calls or whatever. I'm still saying Legion's S tier. I don't agree that Legion deserves to be lower. He in the right hands, you are holding so much of the map and wasting so much damn time. Maestro, solo queue land. Yes, he has species here. Like, you're the Hamburglar. Like, you have decent cameras, but Brava exists, can hack your cameras, and a lot of times I've seen Maestro on their cameras for way too long. People just run up on you and just kill you, and you can't count on people to hold your back here. Melusi, I'd have to say Melusi at least at an A tier. Honestly, probably higher. It's really easy to coordinate off of a Melusi. You place your traps down, and you're done. Now you have impacts, and an MP5 ACOG. And you just go nuke. And, you slow them down from pushing the site. Stops the crouch walk meta a little bit. Mozzie, solo Q land. You have no real utility to slow the enemy down other than anti-intel. You have a good gun and a nitro. I would place Mozzie here because, like, I would compare him to Sentry in a way. Sentry has a, nitro and another gadget. Same gun, nitro, shotgun for making site setups, anti-intel, and then he also has another ability. Honestly, I think Sentry is better than Mozzie in terms of like an overall operator. Because he brings a little bit more than Mozzie. Mozzie needs his secondary shotgun back. But I feel like I'm going to have a lot of hate if I place Mozzie at C tier. But I do think that Mozzie should probably be C tier. Anyways. Mute, A tier. Mute's really good. Stops a lot of intel, but you're not really slowing the enemy down in a real way. Other than anti-intel. And, in solo, have you ever been left in a 1v3 as Mute when it doesn't really feel like you're baiting, but you end up feeling like you're baiting, and then you're ending up having to take long-range firefights as Mute? This is the only reason why I placed Mute at A, because I just don't have faith in the rest of my team to stay alive, even though you're bringing the right ops. Like Mute in a normal squad is 100% an S tier, but in a solo queue environment, I just don't want to place Mute at S tier because I will never play Mute when I'm solo because I do not trust anyone else. So that's the only reason why I'm placing him at A tier, because I know he's really good, but I just would never play him in solo queue because I just don't trust anybody. Oryx, just don't even bother. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Thorn, I mean, C tier, I guess. I mean, your traps and barbed wire. People are going to be like, SenVale, the barbed wire buff is great. It does like 10 damage if you walk through it. Bro, no motherfucker walks through barbed wire. We always destroy it before we go through it. It's not going to change anything. Like, whatever. Vigil. I'm placing Vigil at the... This is really situational because I want to place him C tier, but if you're a really good player, he could definitely be higher if you're really good with that boss gene slam. So yeah, no, this is solo Q tier list. This is not like an overall tier list. This is like if you're solo and you can't talk to your team or your teammates aren't willing to listen to you, you're basically playing alone with no comms. This is the tier list I'm making. Rook B tier. Rook B tier. You can't argue with armor. And then you have the MP5 with impacts. Never bad, but you're not really bringing anything to really slow them down. So what I like to value when I'm solo is the ability to slow enemies down or keep things from getting open or high killing potential. 1, 2, or 3. Rook, high killing potential. Can't slow them down. Can't stop walls, really. So, B tier. Smoke. Again, just like the Mute, but I would argue that Smoke is going to be even worse than the Mute because Mute at least is going to stop intel. Smoke is literally going to stop really nothing other than a plant. But how often have you guys lost to a plant in solo queue unless if you're like somewhat close to the site? It doesn't normally happen. Most people just end up dying. So I would say Mute is probably stronger than the Smoke in the solo land, but I know Smoke is an S tier, so this is solo, and you can't communicate. I know there's like, SenVale, you're dumb. You place Mute and Smoke low. I'm like, bro, I understand. It's just, this is like a solo queue operator tier list. Operators, if you play the S and A tier operators, chances are you're going to win more solo queue. And if you're playing in a stack, I already made that tier list. This is for the solo players that only play solo. It smokes through the walls. Yeah, but I mean, like, you can smoke off a door. But then you're like SMG-11. No one loves to run the shotgun SMG-11. They just put up with it. And then your smokes stall them out for a little bit, which isn't bad. But wouldn't you rather have a nitro? And then anti-intel? And you just don't even stop them. The Ash might just like sprint through when you're not even sure that she's there. And then you're in a fucking crazy firefight against someone with an ACOG with a good gun. And you're SMG-11. Tachanka, don't even fucking bother. Thunderbird, just stop. If you play these two operators in solo queue, I don't know what rank you are, but you probably don't know what the hell you're doing. Just, you're better off not. Valkyrie, Easy S tier operators. Just kidding. In solo queue, who's gonna watch your damn camera besides yourself? I'm placing our beats here because you can play off your own damn cam, but nobody's watching your goddamn camera. In solo land? Hell no. Especially like for any of you console players, how often was the last time you've had someone else call out on your Valkyrie camera? Does it even happen? I doubt it. So there you go. Warden doesn't really slow anything down, but yeah, solo land, I wouldn't say Warden's very high. And then Pulse, I'd say B tier because, you know, if you do find that entry kill using your scanner and the nitro potentially, I mean, if you make it a 5v4 and you don't die instantly, you know, if you can take down the enemy without dying, you're going to be better off winning the round anyways. No one comms the cameras. That's what I'm saying. No one comms the cameras. That's just not happening in solo queue. That's what I'm saying. This is the defending solo queue tier list. If you have any questions or you guys want to debate me, let me know down below. If you think that an operator needs to be up or down a tier or two, let me know. But if you're like thinking like Mirror needs to be S tier, I mean, let me know why. Remember, I'm talking about a solo queue tier list. I keep saying solo queue tier list because I know the comments I get on YouTube are gonna be like, this tier list is dumb, SenVale. You placed my favorite operator, Castle, at C tier. He's obviously an S tier. Bro, Castles and solo queue are literally the worst thing imaginable. Like, just imagine, let me take you on an imagination tour. You're playing Oregon, basement, and someone goes Castle. He castles off tarp door, E-box, and pillar door, double door. And they just walk into a bunker and go through elbow. You know, I would say you're basically fucking throwing. That's why Castle C tier. Because Castle forces strats on people. Any type of teamwork-oriented things need to be basically brainless. Like Malusi's, brainless to play off of. People, like, so you see a Banshee on the door. You know there's a Banshee there. It'll slow them down. You hear an audio cue, and you can play off of it. Capkins, I mean, obviously. Cade, obvious. Anything that requires basically almost no brain power to play off of are going to be higher on the list. And that's it. Make sure to subscribe, drop a comment, leave a like down below for more. And let me know what you guys want to see next time. Peace out. Hey.